Today is Halloween, so I'm wearing a costume. But also that means we're going to be covering the top 10 zombies in gaming, since that's what you guys wanted to see, right?
Starting off this list of undead icons, we have arguably the most iconic video game of this generation, Minecraft. This game is full of spectral entities. We have the skeleton, which I'd consider to be a zombie since it's undead. We have the literal zombie, the zombie pigman, the zombie villager, the phantoms. Those are spectral, right? We have a lot of zombies to choose from in Minecraft, and I think it wouldn't be right if we left a game like this off of the definitive top 10 zombies in gaming video. So we aren't gonna. But I'd say the skeleton cannot be the best zombie from this game. That's ridiculous. I mean, anything that's not the regular zombie kind of pales in comparison to the regular zombie on account of the regular zombie's name. Maybe the zombie pigman has an argument to be made about him, but actually, you know what? You know what zombie's even better than the original zombie? The zombie from Smash Bros. Now that's a great zombie in gaming. He made it to Smash Bros, for goodness sake. That's an achievement. Surely this zombie deserves a number 10 spot. Well, at least he would if it wasn't for a zombie with a pumpkin on his head. See, you can put pumpkins on your head in Minecraft, and wouldn't you know it, zombies have a head. So theoretically, you should be able to put a pumpkin on a zombie's head. I'm not gonna check for myself, but I will declare a zombie with a pumpkin on his head as the 10th best zombie in gaming. Unless, of course, that doesn't exist, in which case the zombie from Super Smash Bros takes the title. Next up, we have another iconic gaming franchise, being Five Nights at Freddy's, which is honestly a perfect game for the Halloween season. But if I'm being honest with you guys, I have never played this game. It is too scary. I did try once, but I almost peed my pants on night one. I just left the door shut and turned the lights on constantly until I ran out of power and then proceeded to close the game. But luckily, this game is talked about constantly on the internet, especially by MatPat. So I do know a thing or two about Five Nights at Freddy's, or FNAF as the kids like to call it. And there's one guy in this game that's probably a zombie, and that would of course be the purple guy. Now, I don't remember this guy's name or much about the lore, but I'm pretty sure he's a zombie. I mean, look at this cutscene and try to tell me he's not a zombie. If you somehow managed to do that, then I would say that not only is the purple guy a zombie, but he's actually the 9th best zombie in all of gaming. Next up is Frankenstein's monster. Not from the movie though, and not from the book either. I don't read. I'm talking about the obscure Atari 2600 game that I played a long time ago. Now, if you haven't heard of this game, you're normal, but it's basically a one-screen platformer game that is stupidly hard. I enjoy it, but it's stupid. The controls are stupid, the obstacles are stupid, and there's even a time limit that's stupid, and the time limit makes it so that if you can't traverse the stupidity in time, none other than Frankenstein's monster himself starts chasing after you. And I don't mean you as in your character, I mean you in real life. The zombie tries to escape out of the television, for goodness sake. That in itself is reason enough to put that zombie on this list, but I also just wanted to talk about this Atari game because I did like it, and I don't know when else I'll get a chance to ever talk about Frankenstein's monster for the Atari 2600 again, so yeah, if you've never played this game, I dare you guys to try and beat it and post it in my Discord server because it's not easy. It took me a while to beat it. It's hard. It's a hard game. But you know what is easy? Putting Frankenstein's monster from this game on the Atari 2600 specifically as the 8th best zombie in all of gaming. Coming up next, we have Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Not my neighbors though, that's just what the game is called. This is a classic game and one that I think most people have on their hidden gems list, but one thing that isn't hidden about this game is the zombies. I mean, it's in the title, for goodness sake. But as to which one of these mini zombies will make the list, well, that's gotta be this one right here. I feel like he ate the most neighbors, so yeah, this zombie right here is the 7th best zombie in gaming. Now, you guys know I couldn't make a list like this without including someone from the Mega Man franchise, right? And if you didn't know that, well, you see, I usually make Mega Man videos, so I felt obligated to include a Mega Man zombie in this video. That makes sense, right? But the problem is most of the enemies from Mega Man are robots. And who knows whether or not they're made from recycled parts or something, because I feel like that would technically make them a zombie if they were. Also, what about the boss refights? Are they technically zombies, or are they just clones made from the same blueprints? I honestly have no idea, so I'm just gonna stray away from that in order to keep the integrity of this video intact. This is the definitive top 10 zombies in gaming list after all, but also, there just so happens to be a zombie enemy in Shade Man stage, which is a very Halloween-y stage, might I add. I mean, it even has the Great Pumpkin from Charlie Brown as a mini-boss. But one of these enemies is literally a zombie. I mean, it walks out of a casket, for crying out loud. And that's about as zombie as a robot could possibly get in my book, and for that reason, I'm choosing Pharaoh Man. That's right, Pharaoh Man is a pharaoh, which is a mummy, which is dead, meaning Pharaoh Man is technically a zombie, and he's much cooler than those stupid zombie enemies from Shade Man stage. So congratulations, Pharaoh Man, you were the 6th best zombie in all of gaming.
With the first half of the list taken care of, we of course have to fight through the never-ending horde of zombies in the second half of the list, so I guess it's ending this half, but I have a question for you guys at home. Is Zero from Mega Man X technically a zombie? I mean, that guy comes back to life and dies several times over, so I feel like by definition, technically Zero
Oh my god, shut up!
Starting off the top 5, we have a very controversial entry being Zagreus from Hades. This is an amazing game, one of my favorites to release in the past several years, and I actually do plan on making some Hades videos both on the original game and Hades 2 in the near future. But what does Zagreus have to do with being a zombie, you might ask? Well, if you've ever played this game, you know that Zagreus dies, but then he quickly respawns into this pool of blood right here, and you're over in the overworld where you can do all this cool stuff. But anyway, Zagreus is dead. The overworld is actually the underworld. Isn't that weird? You ever think about that? But anyway, you see all these ghosts just chilling? Those are shades, which are just dead guys pretty much. Zagreus lives in the Greek equivalent of heck, and the fact that he tries to escape and dies only to come back to life over and over again means he's actually a zombie. The technical dictionary definition of a zombie is a reanimated corpse, and what does that look like to you when he respawns? I'd say that's reanimation. I mean, for goodness sake, respawn and reanimate are already similar words, so I won't tolerate a peep out of the comment section. Hades is an amazing game, and Zagreus is the 5th best zombie in all of gaming. So the other day I was talking to my friend John Earl Blaskowitz, who is a farmer, and he was showing me around his farms and all these different animals, and we get to the pigs, and one of his pigs had a wooden leg. So I asked him, hey John Earl, why does your pig have a wooden leg? And he goes, oh, you wouldn't believe it, this pig is special. Listen to this. We were in a house fire, me and my wife and my son, little Johnny, is a junior by the way, John Earl, you know, he's named his son Johnny. I don't know why, he's a junior, I guess, bring on the family heritage. Anyway, he says they were in a fire in their house. They were burning in an inferno. He didn't say inferno, he's a farmer. But in their inferno, they were sleeping. They were sleeping in the house fire, about to die and burn to death, when suddenly this pig jumps up, climbs up to the balcony of their house, and starts banging his snout on the window. He ended up waking up old John Earl and saving them from their bitter demise. And he tells me that's a special pig right there. And I said, all right, that's crazy, but that thing on his leg, why is that there? But wait, you haven't heard the half of it. You see, little Johnny, you know, Johnny Jr., because his name is John Earl, he was drowning in a lake, and you know, John Earl and his wife were plowing the farm or something. I don't know. They were doing somewhere they couldn't hear. I don't remember what he told me. I wasn't really listening at this point. I was more curious about the wooden leg that the pig had. But apparently they were doing something where they couldn't hear, and their kid was drowning in a lake, crying for help, and no one could hear him. But none other than that same pig jumps over the fence, keeping him in his confined area, runs over, bites the kid on like the collar or something, and drags him out of the lake and saves his life. And I said, my goodness gracious, this pig is a special breed, you know, but I'm just wondering, why is his leg made of wood? What happened? And old John Earl goes, well, a pig like that you can't eat all at once. Moving on to number 3, we have Metroid, my favorite video game series of all time. Metroid takes place on an alien planet, so there aren't really a lot of zombies walking around to my knowledge. You could argue, that the Mother Brain is a zombie because you kill her in the first game, and then in Super Metroid as well, the best game ever created, the Mother Brain shows back up, you know, suddenly and for no reason, and actually has more abilities than last time. But I don't think that counts. We don't really have enough information as far as I'm aware about how the Mother Brain came back, so I'm not even going to go with any of that on this one. I'm just going to ignore that. The main character in the Metroid series is a girl, but she's not a zombie either, to my knowledge at least. I just wanted to spoil Metroid for you guys, so anyway, in Super Metroid, however, there is Phantoon, who is a boss and possesses the wrecked ship, which is filled with ghosts. There are undeniably undead spirits, but they're not zombies. They're specters. There is no corpse, so it can't be a zombie by definition. We've been over this. But in Metroid Fusion, we are introduced to the X-Parasite, and I'm not talking about that thing that took over Twitter. This thing goes around and takes over the bodies of living organisms, or sometimes dead ones, which sounds pretty close to a zombie to me. And you know what? We can actually see the dead corpse of Ridley in this game. I don't know how Ridley got here, but we see his corpse dead. He's dead right here. And then we proceed to see the X-Parasite take it over, change Ridley up, and use Ridley's corpse to fight you in a boss battle. What is that? That's a zombie. Yeah, that's right. Ridley is a zombie. I bet you weren't expecting that, huh? Well, you also probably weren't expecting that the 3rd best zombie in all of gaming is actually this purple zombie from the beginning of the game. This guy is literally referred to as a zombie by the actual game files and the manual and stuff, so there's no arguing here. And he looks much more like a zombie than Ridley. He also looks like Purple Guy from Five Nights at Freddy's, you know, from number 9 on this list. So despite Ridley being epic and way cooler, I gotta give it to the purple zombie from Metroid Fusion, just for being a more traditional zombie. So congratulations, purple zombie from the beginning of Metroid Fusion, you are the 3rd best zombie in all of gaming. Next up, we have yet another potentially controversial choice being Link. That's right, Link from The Legend of Zelda. You see, I was watching watching YouTube roughly a decade ago and I saw this video by MatPat show up in my feed. You know, MatPat, the guy who makes the FNAF videos that I was talking about earlier. Now, I didn't watch that video because I didn't really care, but if MatPat is to be believed, then Link is a zombie because he's dead. It says so in the thumbnail. Also, that makes Ness from Earthbound a zombie too because of Sans. Anyway, I'm pretty sure the gist of this theory is that in Majora's Mask there are a lot of allusions to Link being in Purgatory and a bunch of other hoopla, and since he's both dead canonically but also alive and a playable character in future games, that makes him a zombie. But if that's not enough for you, there's also literally the undead hero version of him from Twilight Princess, so Link is a zombie, case closed. But coming in at number 1, we of course have the best zombie to ever bless the gaming universe, the Crawler from Black Ops Zombies, specifically Black Ops 1 and specifically the one with no legs. One-legged crawlers don't count, man, come on. First of all, I love Black Ops Zombies and I would love to make some videos on the classic zombies games like World at War, all the way to even Black Ops 4 potentially. And these zombies are undeniably some of gaming's most iconic zombies already. It's definitely my favorite zombie-based game. I know you guys probably wanted Plants vs. Zombies or like Nemesis or the Left 4 Dead guy, but come on, compared to these guys, that's stupid. Frankly, it's stupid. Unless you're subscribed, in which case I apologize, you're right. But you have to be subscribed, otherwise I'm not gonna apologize. You don't get the privilege to be correct if you're not subscribed. But Black Ops Zombies is such a fun game mode and actually had a ton of different zombies to choose from, which made this very hard. I originally wanted to pick the zombies from the Black Ops 2 Super Easter egg where Rick Toffin is put into the body of a zombie because that's pretty cool and funny, and I also love doing that Super Easter egg. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that the true best zombie of all time is indeed the Crawler. I mean, this guy is great. We love crawlers. Without them, how are we supposed to take pee-pee breaks or Google the steps to the Easter egg we forgot about? I had a friend who always walked his dogs when we played zombies, I don't know why, but guess what? We got a Crawler and waited patiently for him to return. Plus, there's nothing worse on this planet than that one guy on your team that doesn't know how to make a Crawler and just keeps inning the round with grenades like an idiot. Or even worse, constantly kills the Crawler and keeps inning the round that way. I mean, just let me hit the box a few times for Pete's sake, leave the Crawlers alone. But we all know Crawlers are great. What I think needs to be explained is why specifically Black Ops 1's no-legged Crawler is the best of all time. And first of all, the Crawler with one leg moves a little bit faster, so the ones with no legs are just easier to deal with in general. Plus, it's funny looking. But in Black Ops 2, for some reason, Treyarch decided to change how crawlers worked and nerfed them entirely. In Black Ops 1, you could just make a crawler, run across the map, and wait for that slow goofball to struggle along for 20 minutes following you. But in Black Ops 2, if you get too far away, the crawler just dies and the round ends. That's not cool. This also continued in future Zombies games, and World at War just isn't as good as Black Ops 1 Zombies, so the Black Ops 1 crawler with no legs is not only peak crawler, but it is also peak zombie. That specific crawler is literally the best zombie in all of gaming.
Well, that wraps up today's Halloween special. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's play a little game for the folks at home. If you're watching this and it's not Halloween, comment down below what holiday is closest to you, and that'll be a fun game.
It's Halloween.
Can you please go away? We've talked about this.
No.